When it comes to the Pokemon series, Nintendo has a foolproof strategy. Release 2 versions of a game with minor differences, wait a little bit, and then release a 3rd edition with a few new features. The Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series is no exception to that rule. Explorers of Sky is largely the same game as Explorers of Time and Explorers of Darkness. So is the game worth triple dipping? Well, I wouldn't go trading in your other version quite yet. If you don't know about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, it's actually the Pokemon version of a popular series of roguelike games. Games that feature crawling around in randomly generated dungeons. It's an old school type of gameplay, and this also shows in the old school type of graphics. Characters move in grids, and the animation isn't flashy at all. I know this is a throwback to older games, but it just looks lazy these days. The randomly generated dungeons don't mean good dungeons. A lot of them suck, and oftentimes the spawn point is right by the floor's exit. I appreciate the help, Chunsoft, but really, I can make it through a dungeon on my own. The gameplay is identical to both Explorers of Time and Explorers of Darkness, so check out our previous review if you want a more detailed breakdown. Just know it's a lot of level grinding and dungeon exploration. Explorers of Sky does add a few new things. There are 2 new Pokemon that you can play as, Riolu and Phanpy. Sorry, you can't choose them directly. You have to take the same personality quiz in the beginning and hope that you end up with one of them. No matter who you get, the gameplay doesn't change at all, so it's not a very big deal. Another addition is a juice bar / raffle shop. You trade in items for stat boosting juices or raffle tickets. It's a way to get some rarer items, but that's about it. So that leads to the biggest new thing. Special episodes where you play as the other characters in your Explorers Guild that you couldn't play as before. The episodes go into their backstory and the reasons why they joined the guild. Unfortunately, these episodes end up being mostly cutscenes, like you wanted to read a novel about Bidooft's self-esteem issues. The gameplay doesn't change at all, and they just seem like they were tacked on. They're not even integrated with the story, you have to select them from the main menu. Finally, one of the coolest features in the original game was the ability to trade certain missions with your friends so that they could get special items or Pokemon. Explorers of Sky makes it so that you can only trade missions with other copies of Explorers of Sky. People who own Time or Darkness are completely left out. It's a little baffling why there's a 3rd version of this game. If you really get down to it, there's no reason why there should have been 2 versions in the first place. This is the same game with side stories that aren't very fun, superficial additions, and less connectivity. If you bought the previous games, you'll probably want to pass on this. For the full written review, head on over to ign.com.